All right, taking a look now at coronavirus numbers. Georgia hit a new record high in cases on Saturday. Governor Kemp says it's because we're testing more people. But we did the math and we found even though we are testing more, the rate of tests coming back positive is also going up. The state reporting more than 3,200 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. That is down significantly from Saturday's nearly 4,700 cases. You're looking at those orange bars at the very end of that graph on the right side of your screen. That number, 4,700 cases from Saturday, that's also the one on Sunday, below the 14-day moving average. So you're looking at that dotted line across the graph. That is the average. That's also known as the curve we are trying to flatten. And despite a dip in cases on Sunday, you can see that curve is still trending up. Now, along with a record number of new cases Saturday, the state also had a record number of test results. And when you compare how many tests we're giving now versus back in April or May, it's clear Georgia is testing more. So we wanted to know if the number of positive cases are going up because of that. This graph shows both of them together. New tests in orange, new cases in green. Now, 2 weeks ago, an average of 15.4% of the tests were coming back positive. Last week, it was slightly higher, 15.7%. That means even though we are testing more right now, the virus is still spreading faster. New at noon, the FDA has issued an emergency use authorization for Quest Diagnostic to begin pool testing for the coronavirus. This will allow samples from up to 4 people to be tested at once. If the pool tests negative, then everyone in that group would be cleared. However, if it tests positive, then that means at least one person in that pool of people may be infected, and everyone will need to be individually retested. Experts say this will allow for faster testing while preserving supplies.